Osmond, he skips. Crowd is stunned. Whoa, there it is. He's doubled up.
In Northern California, they're shooting for the stars and dreaming of cash. It's the $4 million Shooting Star Tournament here on the World Poker Tour.
The World Poker Tour is a series of international poker tournaments featuring the biggest games, the greatest players, and the largest payouts on the planet. 6 final players, $4 million in cash. Big League Poker hits Northern California big time here on the World Poker Tour.
Hi everyone, welcome to the World Poker Tour. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten, and we're in beautiful San Jose, California for the Bay 101 Shooting Star Tournament.
And Mike, this is truly a fun one. I mean, this is a pro-am extravaganza, the Pebble Beach of poker. And don't forget, this is the place where the big name pros have to put bounties on their heads.
Make that bullseyes on their chest, Vince. I know, I've been there.
Right.
Anyone who knocked out a shooting star got a cool $5,000 in cash paid right at the table.
Plus, they get that great story they can tell back at their home game. But what's interesting is, even though the buy-in went from $5,000 this year to $10,000, they were turning them away at the gate.
Oh, you're right, Vince. We've got over $4 million in the prize pool, with $1 million going to first place. In addition, the winner gets that $25,000 entry into the WPT Championship and receives the Holy Grail of Poker, a WPT title.
That's right. And Mike, we've already hit the $50 million mark, one on the World Poker Tour this season.
Well, we're building to our Season 3 WPT Championship event, which is destined to be more prize money than our entire first season.
Inflation never looks so good. We have to live vicariously through these guys. Let's go meet them.
Let's do it.
On the short stack tonight is Shandor Zancuti. He's a 36-year-old contractor and amateur player from Pacifica, California. He's starting out tonight with $250,000 in chips.
In Seat 5 is Min the Master Win, a 3-time tournament player of the year. Min is one of the best and most colorful players in poker. He'll be starting out tonight with $310,000 in chips.
And next is a 22-year-old accounting student from Coral Springs, Florida. His name, Corey Shereznik. Now, Corey made this final table through a $25 buy-in, and now he's got a shot at $1 million. He's starting with $769,000.
On Corey's right is Danny Wynn. This is a local poker dealer who finds himself on the other side of the felt tonight. And Vince, if this guy wins this $1 million, will his dealing days be gone forever?
Seat number 4 and second in chips with $1,007,000 is the legendary pro Gus Hansen. That's right, this is Gus's 5th final table appearance.
Always great to see Gus at a final table.
Yep.
But our chip leader tonight in Seat 6, with over $1.1 million in chips, is Jay Martins, a doctor from British Columbia. Can the doc do it tonight?
All right. Mike, who are you going for?
Well, Vince, Gus is starting out with over $1 million in chips.
Yeah.
He's got 3 World Poker Tour titles under his belt.
Yeah.
I'm going with Gus Hansen to win.
Okay. Well,
I'm not betting against the guy.
You always win. I'm going with your pick this time.
Oh.
Maybe we'll both be right.
Here we go.
Let's see what happens.
Here we are at the Shooting Star Tournament. Shuffle up and deal.
Linda Johnson, the First Lady of Poker, says, let's get this party started. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Vince, this should be a great final table in that we have 2 superstars at the final table in Gus and Min the Master. Action is going to be on Min the Master.
All right, let's take a look at the WPT Hole Cam, sponsored by Michelob Amberbach. The Master looks down at a King 6 offsuit, doesn't want any part of it, throws it away.
I'll raise.
And here's Dr. Jay Martins, guy who's never played in a casino in his life until this tournament. Raises the first pot with ace-5 of spade, comes in for $60,000. That's a large raise, Vince.
You're right. Now Danny Wynn quickly going out with 8-3. Corey looks down at King 6 offsuit. Doesn't like it. Round to the building contractor, Shandor. Throws away a 7-5.
Here we are around to Gus Hansen, the winningest player on the World Poker Tour. And look at this, Vince. He's picked up 2 queens in the big blind.
I don't think he knows how to play big hands. We know he plays the junk hands so well, but he's a little shocked himself here.
So we've got the 2 chip leaders clashing on hand number 1 here. You see Gus getting out some raising chips there.
I'm raising.
And he is going to raise it, so let's see how much it's going to be. Looks like about $230,000 he's making it.
$230 total.
That's a $170,000 raise into the chip leader, Dr. J.
Dr. J, Meet Gus Hansen. I mean, how would you like to be at a final table, Vince? You come in as chip leader, the first hand, you're raised by Gus Hansen. What do you do now?
You'll find this on your online site. You're staring down at Gus Hansen with a stiff raise. Got ace-5 of spades.
You see the doctor remaining so statuesque.
Oh, look at this. He's going to make a nice laydown. Gets away from the hand.
Well, that is a good laydown. So there you go. Pot number 1 going to the legendary Gus Hansen.
He is going for his 4th title here tonight. Will he do it?
How would you like to be in the doctor's shoes now, Vince? The guy's never played poker in a casino in his life. He won an $8 satellite to get here, and now he's up against the legendary Gus Hansen, and he's re-raised on hand number 1.
I had 2 goals coming into this tournament: not to be the first one out and not to beat myself. I'm a complete rookie, and allowing that to get the better of me, I wasn't going to let it happen. You know, I think I've exceeded those expectations somewhat.
His friends gave him a tip: act like a statue. They've nicknamed him the statue. He's going to try to remain statuesque here throughout this final table. So far he's doing it, but you feel the statue cracking a little bit here when Gus Hansen raises you.
Right now, back to the table, it's going to be on Corey Shereznik.
He's under the gun. He's got Jack-10 of spade.
Interesting starting hand.
25,000.
Nice little raise into Shandor, who has ace-deuce in his hand.
He folds, as does Gus. And then quickly folds.
Duck, Canada, very stoic.
I'll raise.
He's got a pair of queens.
Well, last hand he was beaten by a pair of queens. This time he has them.
Unbelievable. Back-to-back ladies.
40.
He's going to raise it 40,000 more.
Danny Wynn looks down at a 5-4. Pretty ugly starting hand.
59,000 to Danny. And he
Doesn't like it.
40,000.
Corey Shereznik faced with a pretty tough decision here. He's up against the chip leader. It's 40,000 more to call. Well, he pulls down the sunglasses.
Oh, that means something.
Yeah, look at that. He might be the Red Baron there or something, Vince. The crowd cheers. He's going to call it.
Yes, he is.
So we're going to have a flop here. Corey with the Jack-10 of spade. The doctor with 2 queens. And the flop is 6-4-3 with 2 spades. Corey has flopped a flush draw.
He has 4 to the flush.
Dr. Martins has the overpair. And he's getting out some betting chips. Can't blame him for that. And he bets 75,000. He topples him into the pot there, Vince.
Very solid bet into a guy who has 4 to the flush.
And folks, if you're sitting in Corey's seat right now, what do you do with a flush draw here? Do you just call? Do you come over the top? Do you want to get involved with a chip leader with Jack high?
Okay, I'll call.
And then he very casually says, I'll call.
So he calls the 75,000.
And right now he is deeply involved in this pot.
Well, nearly 300,000 in the pot right now.
Let's go to the turn.
Oh, the queen of spade comes off. Oh, it gives the doctor the top set and 3 queens, and it makes Corey a flush. We're going to see some fireworks soon. Look at this. The doctor checks here, trying to trap with the 3 queens.
Well, or maybe he actually feels like this kid might have had 4 to the flush and caught. He has made a nice check to him. Oh, I like this. Corey has checked behind him.
Well, both players trying to trap, I think. I think it's a very dangerous trap on the doctor's part with 3 spades on the board. The jack of clubs comes off.
Does not help the doctor.
Well, Vince, he absolutely has to think the 3 queens are the best hand right now.
Because of that check by Corey, he's coming out with a solid bet here.
He gets 200,000.
Corey.
Well, the sunglasses come up.
He's going into a nice acting job here.
Just trying to play this to the hilt here, Vince. He's looking back to make sure he has the flush.
All in.
And now he says all in.
And if you've got an ace-high flush or a king-high flush, good luck to you, my friend.
I call. And right behind him, the doctor's made the call.
Well, he does.
Yeah.
You see Corey pumping the fists there.
Yes, he does.
A huge pot here, over $1.5 million, goes to the 22-year-old accounting student from the University of Florida.
only started playing poker a year ago, and right now he makes a huge dent into the chip leader. They're chanting muchacha.
And what does that mean, Vince?
I think that means financial partner.
Well, poor Dr. J took a serious blow to the kidneys right there, I can tell you that. Lost half his stack. But there you go. We have a new chip leader, folks. It's 22-year-old Corey Cheresnik from Florida.
We have got a great match going on here tonight. Who is going to be victorious and who's going to be dumped in the bay? Find out when the World Poker Tour continues right after this.
Scotty has 2 6s. Meng has 2 8s. Scotty went up and eliminated.
But you know, baby, that 5,000 is the hardest 5,000 they ever made.
Welcome back to the Bay 101. You're watching the Shooting Stars tournament on the World Poker Tour. And what action we've seen so far, Vance. Very aggressive play by the 22-year-old Corey Cheresnik.
But with this, the antes are staying the same at 1,000, but the blinds are going up to 5,000 and 10,000. Action's going to be on the local favorite, Shandor. He looks down at Queen 8 offsuit. Goes out.
Here comes Gus, raising it with ace-7 offsuit. Comes in for 28,000.
Men throws away his jack 6. Doc going out as well. And now Danny.
Danny calling the raise with 4 high, the 4-3 of clubs. Oh, man, he's got his laser set on Gus Hansen. Call a raise with a 4 high here.
And the chip leader Corey with King 10. He's going to stay involved.
Well, he's in the big blind, so he's going to put in 18,000 more. So here we go, 3-way action here. And these are the 3 chip leaders going at it.
The flop comes up ace, king, deuce. Gus hits the aces. Corey hits his kings.
And Danny's got the gut shot straight draw. A 5 would make him a 5 high straight.
Action's got to be on Danny. He quickly checks it. Corey with the pair of kings right now. Will he bet? He's got Gus Hansen breathing down on his neck there on his left.
Corey has second pair.
100.
I actually like this bet because if you check, you know Gus is going to bet. Now you're just guessing if he has it or not. He's bet 100,000, and now it's up to Gus, who has 2 aces, but he has what we call a bad kicker. He's only got a 7 kicker here. Well, Gus is going to call him. Now around to Danny Wynn. Now remember, a 5 would make him a straight. But I can't imagine you put in 100,000 to try to do it.
You wouldn't think so.
We've seen this guy as a gambler.
He's got to splash around as well.
Folks, this guy has come to play. He calls $100,000 with a gut shot straight draw. He is trying to hit lightning in the jug here to catch that 5.
Very interesting. Here's the turn card.
Turn card is the jack of spade here. That's a card that's not going to make anybody happy at the table.
But it's going to be on Danny first. Just gave away 100 grand.
Danny has 4 high here, folks. And these other guys have raised before the flop and bet on the flop. Look at this, Vince. He is going to lead out into this pot.
Just
when the
incredible.
jack hits, bets 100,000. It's not a very big bet considering there's nearly 400,000 out there, but still, it's got to make you sit up and pay attention. You see Corey doing it right here. He's saying, what's going on here? Why is this guy leading out here now? Geez, I'd like to draw to this hand.
Well, what's disturbing, too, is that got called after the flop 2 caller. Now he's saying my kings can't be good.
Well, Corey's going to get out of the way. He's done with this hand.
Now it's on Gus, who has the legitimate pair of aces. We know that. His kicker not being so good, though.
I can tell you, this is just a very, very, very difficult call to make in this situation. Remember, the guy that let on bet into 2 players who'd raised and bet on the flop already.
But Gus is going to make the call.
What a call by Gus Hansen, folks. Now that is playing some poker to call with 2 aces and a 7 kicker.
Here comes the river.
Oh, the 5 comes off.
Does.
Danny has made his straight.
Just a miracle. And he's going to check it this time.
Well, there's 3 spades on the board, but you can't put your opponent on spades when it's come spade. Now Gus is trying to figure out what is going on now. Is this guy trying to trap me?
I cannot believe Danny going with the bluff, and now this time he catches Lucky, but then he checks it. He's a little fearful of the flush.
Well, Gus trying to figure out, if I bet here, even if I have the best hand, what can this guy pay me off with? Whereas if I get raised, I'll be blown out of this pot.
He wisely checks it.
It's a very good check by Gus. He is going to be stunned when his opponent turns up 3-4. Well, you see the look on Gus's face right now, shell shock.
He's going, that's what I do a lot of the time.
I can't beat it.
Well, Gus says, I can't beat it. No, you can't, but he took his time staring at it.
Boy, if looks could kill. Gus looking back at this guy, Danny, saying, who are you?
I mean, he sees how that hand was played, and he is indeed shocked by the way Danny played that hand.
Gus Hansen's starting to look a little like Jeffrey Dahmer. He's seething. But right now, the former poker dealer, Danny, taking a nice pot.
Danny Wynn. They call me Danny Boy. I come to America in 1981. I'm a dealer. I watching the player all day long. I can tell what they got.
Well, great imagination and daring poker here tonight. This is stuff you just don't see in the books. On Gus Hansen. This time looking down at an ace-8 offsuit.
Well, that's enough for Gus to raise. He comes in for $28,000.
Men Win going out.
The doctor folds.
Danny Win with the button in front of him. This time he picks up big slick ace-king.
Gus staring at Danny.
Yes, he does. In a great position to play it with the button in front of him.
Well, he's getting out some raising chips.
4,000 more.
He's going to make it $68,000 to go.
Into Corey.
A $40,000 re-raise here.
50,000.
Chip leader Corey with the crick in his neck. Throws away his hand.
4,000.
Now we're around to Shandor, who looks down at 2 sevens. Hence, this pot has been raised and re-raised up to him. He's on the short stack, but what do you do with 2 sevens here when 2 guys have already raised in front of you?
The local residential contractor with a middle pair here.
Mullen.
He's doing it. He's coming over the top of both of them.
He's the short stack. He's pushed it all in.
Well, pretty easy lay down for Gus, I think, here with the raise and the re-raise in front of him. Well,
Danny Wynn, the poker dealer, in a great place here tonight, and he has a shot of knocking out the local Shandor.
I call.
Danny call. Well, Danny's going to call him. So here we go. We're going to have the race situation. It's 2 overcards. The ace-king for Danny, the 2 sevens for Shandor. But remember, because of the WPT cam, we saw Gus throw away an ace and Men the Master throw away a king. So 2 of Danny's outs are gone. Oh, he's hit the slot machine on the flop. He did it. Sevens. What that means is Danny must catch a running 10 and a queen and make an ace-high straight if he wants to take Shandor out right now.
Yeah, that's going to do it. It's an 8 on the turn. The contractor has put the hacksaw to Danny Wynn.
Well, you can't blame Danny for playing that hand. He had a legitimate hand, the ace-king there. The 2-7 standing up. Shandor back in action.
Family man taking a shot at this event and the $1 million here on the World Poker Tour. Can the dream stay alive? It does so right now.
Don't touch that remote. We're coming right back with the hottest poker on television.
I spent about 6 hours the other day with Gus on my left, Chip on my right, and Antonio 1 seat over there. It was just the most intense poker experience that I've ever had.
Of all the tournaments I'm involved with, the Bay 1-1 Shooting Star is the best. When this tournament started, it was 100 players for $1,000. This year, 440 players for $10,000. Yeah! You see these players week after week on the World Poker Tour. They come into your hometown, you knock them out, pick up $5,000. What could be better?
I've never won one. I came close once, but I'm going to keep coming back every year, and one of these days I'll win one of these bounties.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're at the Bay 101. 6 still remain here.
Action on Ben the Master.
Well, he has to look at this garbage 9 deuce this time. He goes out.
The doctor with the ace high here. He opts to lay it down.
And now it is around to Danny Wynn. He's got ace jack this time.
He's got the blackjack hand and just limps in with it, Vince.
Now it's around to Corey Shereznik with the button in front, and Corey's got king, queen of hearts.
Well, that's certainly a nice hand to pick up in position. See how he's going to play it. But we know Danny has him beat right now. Looks like Corey's getting out some raising chips though, Vince.
22 years old, only been playing poker for 1 year. A student.
70 more.
Out of Coral Springs, Florida. And he is going to raise this.
Yes, he does. He makes it 70,000 more. That's 80,000 to go with the king, queen of hearts.
Shandor. He's out.
Gus quickly folds.
And now we're back to Danny Wynn.
Danny faced with a tough decision here. He's up against the other chip leader. What does he want to do with his ace jack now?
Well, did he want to get in cheap before? Or was he looking to raise? We will find out.
Well, he's facing a $70,000 raise here.
I call.
He's going to call it. Wants to see a flop with the ace jack. So the two chip leaders going at it here. Danny with ace jack. Corey with king, queen of hearts.
Potential fireworks. Here's the first 3.
Now that's no help to either player. Comes 9-8-5.
It's going to be on Danny first.
Look at this, Vince. He is reaching for chips. He doesn't care that Corey raised before the flop.
This is a guy that just can't help himself, it seems like.
This guy's got some heart. He's doing it. He's betting 90,000 here. Right into the chip leader and the guy that raised before the flop.
Now we're back on Corey.
Well, Corey just has the king, queen. He hasn't helped his hand at all.
No, and he's starting to twitch a little bit. You know, looking at Corey and his mannerisms remind me very much of Gus Hansen. He twitches, he moans, he groans.
Oh, well, this is Gus like right here, Vince. He is going for chips. And it's not just the amount of chips to call this bet. These are raisin bullets.
150 more.
Folks, he just has king high. He's coming over the top of Danny Wynn right here with a re-raise.
He is a Gus clone. Now, will it work? And now what is Danny going to do?
Well, I'll tell you. I don't know what you can do with an ace jack here.
He's going to lay it down. How about this 22-year-old on his way to a World Poker Tour title?
Well, Vince, if he wins the title, he'll be the youngest winner ever on the World Poker Tour. Will it happen?
22-year-old Corey Shereznik is an accounting major, and tonight he hopes to graduate to high finance.
Being at the final table of a World Poker Tour event is just a dream come true. I started playing poker about a year ago and never thought I'd even be close to where I am right now, and it's just really overwhelming. The crowds around the table were more than 100 people, and I just looked around and just was in total amazement. Wow, everyone's, watching, What if I mess up, or what if I make a great play? Everyone's gonna see.
Of course, it doesn't hurt to bring your own rooting section to the game.
Well, having my family here has been great. I don't know if I could have done all this without them. I got my dad, my brother, and my grandfather.
That's me.
And if that wasn't enough, I got my sister, my mom, and my grandma.
That's my boy.
You threw the poor kid into the arena, and he's going to slay all the big guys.
So fast action by the young kid from Coral Springs, Florida.
I'm killing
Just playing phenomenal poker. Can it continue?
I noticed these things.
But the action's going to be back on Doc Martens this time. Throws away 10-7.
Around to Danny Wynn. Look at this, Vince. He picks up 2 jacks, comes in for 40,000.
Nice little raise. Into the chip leader, Corey Shereznik, 8-7 in his hand.
He lays it down.
Shandor with queen 3 in the button. Goes out.
Around to Gus. He's in the small blind. Looks down at ace-7 offsuit.
Already slightly invested.
He does call out of the small blind.
And finally, it's going to be around to Mend the Master, who has picked up a real hand. He's got pair queens.
He's going to raise it.
All you can eat, baby.
Well, men betting it all. He's not fooling around with these guys. And he's got 2 opponents in the pot. He's moving all in.
And right behind him, Danny Wynn's going to quickly call it. Gus has gotten out of the way. Well, you got a monster putt, queens versus jacks.
Well, Danny's got the 2 jacks. Mend the Master with the 2 queens in dominating position here. Now, these 2 wins are not related, but Vince, you might say, we've got a win-win situation here. One of them is going to win the pot.
But look at this, Mend the Master, so patient tonight. His fans in the front. This is a great opportunity for him to double up right now.
Nearly 940,000 in this pot. And the flop is 6-3 deuce.
And that is just so nice for Mend the Master out in front with the queens over the jacks.
Well, he's going to dodge a jack or 2 running clubs. That's it. If he does so, he'll double up. Look at the Master. The jack comes on the turn. Oh, Vince, you got to feel his pain right now. The second time for him on a World Poker Tour final table. And look what has happened here. Unless he catches a queen on the river, he's going to be out in 6th place.
Danny Wynn could outdraw Picasso. Just incredible on the turn.
Well, it's not over, but right now, Mend the Master must catch a queen on the river to stay alive in this tournament. Another jack comes off. 4 jacks. Danny Wynn makes 4 jacks. And that's going to do it for the Master.
Right there, you're staring at dead man walking.
Well, that's the cruelty of poker. You can't do any better than that than get all your money in with pair against pair. You play poker, it's going to happen to you. You're going to suffer bad beats. Well, Mend the Master just took a bad beat right there.
This is amazing. What a turnaround. Mend the Master, our 6th place finisher. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour and the Bay 101 Shooting Star Tournament.
Just brutal pain here at the Bay 101. Mend the Master having to go through that. We are down to 5.
The blinds and antes have gone up. We're playing with a $2,000 ante. Blinds are 8 and 16,000.
He's got 400. Still 400.
Action's going to be on Corey. Looks down once again at a king-queen offsuit.
Let's see what Corey's going to do here with the king-queen. It's $34,000 sitting in the pot already.
And he's going to raise it to 50,000. Now action's on to Shandor, the local. And this time, once again, he gets a middle pair of 6s.
He's just going to call. It's a case that you call, hope nobody raises, and then you hope you flop a set.
Gus Hansen with the button in front has ace-jack.
He's got a nice hand also, and he's also got position, as you said, sitting there on the button. Let's see what Gus is going to do with the ace-jack.
Well, he's going to speculate.
He's going to call. 3 players in the pot already.
Drawing down his hand. Now it's on Danny Wynn.
He doesn't have a bad hand in the big blind either. He's got king-jack. Because the WPT cam, we see he's up against king-queen and ace-jack, and what a laydown he makes. So 3 players in the pot.
We've got king-jack, king-queen versus a pair of 6s. Here's the first 3.
Well, flop is queen, queen, 6. Look what's happened. Corey has flopped 3 queens, yet Shandor has flopped a full house.
6 is full of queens.
The contractor building a full house right here on the flop.
It's going to be on Corey first.
Well, Corey surely thinks he has the best hand. The question is, does he want to check here to try to trap them, or at least think he's trapping them? Or does he want to lead right out?
Oh, he's going to go into his Gus routine here. I wonder what Gus thinks when he looks at Corey doing him. Corey bet $90,000. And Shondor just cannot believe this is happening to him.
Well, what Shondor is trying to figure out is, what's the best way for me to get my money in here and get action? Should I just call on this street? Should I raise him right now? Does he really have a queen? But he's just going to call because he knows he's got Gus behind him, too. Gus liable to make a play with anything.
God, and I never find a queen.
Gus, you don't know how lucky you are you didn't find one here, my friend.
Here's the turn card.
Now the 8 of clubs comes off.
That doesn't help Corey.
Well, what Corey's afraid of here is a potential flush draw by his opponent. Maybe another pair by him. And yet he could have Queen Jack or Queen 10. In which case he'd be dominating. Little does he know, he's way behind right now.
I'm all in.
So he's going all in.
I call.
Shondor quickly calls him and is going to be dancing the jig here because he has a great chance to double up and win a $1.2 million pot.
The residential contractor in a great place right now, but he's got to sweat out this last card.
Well, he's got to dodge a king, a queen, or an 8. Any of those cards will win the pot for Corey. Can he dodge them?
Well, there's been a suck-out night. Will that continue? Here's the river. No, he did not.
So right there, a sly call on the flop with the full house pays big dividends for Shondor. Sent Cootie right there. Well, that vaults him up into second chip position at this final table. A body slam to Corey Chereznik right there. Well, Vince, we've seen some really great poker at this final table, but you can't go from 438 players down to 6 without a number of players making mistakes along the way.
You're right about that, Mike. And Shauna Hyatt takes a look at some of the common mistakes amateurs make, especially when they're going up against the pros in this week's WPT Poker Corner.
At Bay 101, both amateurs and pros alike shoot for the stars, but the amateur is more likely to misfire and shoot himself in the foot.
The number one mistake amateurs make is they call too much. They see a weak hand or a marginal hand or an ace baby, and they think it's a good hand, and they call, and they see the flop, they don't know what to do, they check, they call. And if you're going to play, especially if you're going to play a marginal hand, you're better off betting it or raising it than calling it.
The key mistakes amateurs make in a tournament is they like to maximize their bluffs. They push all their chips in when they only have to risk a minimum amount to win the pot.
They start out playing way too tight. The pros are just waiting to pounce on them. And to me, it's just like stepping up to the plate without a baseball bat.
A major mistake that a lot of amateurs are making these days is not knowing how many chips a player has. And if you don't know how many chips your opponent has, then you're in trouble.
Now you know. Amateurs call too much, risk too many chips, play too tight, and don't keep an eye on their opponent's stack. Oh, and one more thing?
They give away too many tells. And to avoid to giving away tells, try to act the same way, whether you have the good cards or the bad cards, whether you're bluffing or not. Otherwise, we can read you like a book.
So take a few tips from the pros, and maybe one day you'll have a bounty on your head.
So we are watching Shondor play very solid, very no-frills kind of poker. Makes it pay off nicely. And with that, the blinds are going up to 12 and 24,000.
And antes are 3,000 each, Vince. That means there's 51,000 in the pot before the cards are dealt.
Action goes back to the doctor from Canada, Jay Martins, who's been in a little bit of a slump after coming out as the chip leader. The doctor goes out. Danny Wynn, King 7 in his hand.
35.
He's going to play.
16. Only call.
Corey has gone out, and now it's on Shondor. A little confusion there. Actually, Danny had to make it 48, I believe, to make the raise.
24, 48, right? Okay.
Well, Shondor has King Jack. He's going to call another 12,000.
Look at this. Gus has got a little pair of threes.
Well, he's got 2 threes in the big blind. He's on the short stack. Think he might want to make something happen here, but he opts to just check.
He's changed gears. He just calls it.
Well, flop comes queen 5-4, action on Shandor. That flop was no help to anybody, remember?
Well, actually, it helps Gus a little bit because he's in front with his 3 still. Shandor's checked. Gus is going to check.
Check.
And Danny checks right behind him.
Here comes the turn. Oh, man, it's hit Gus.
Well, Gus has made 3 threes. Shandor checks. Gus quickly checks again, hoping Danny's going to fire at this pot like he's been doing.
Oh, he's dug a hole. He's putting the twigs over it, hoping for the suckers to fall in, but they're not going to this time.
Well, Danny checks.
River card comes up. It's a king.
Well, that gives Shandor 2 kings, but he checks. Now Gus with the 3 threes must think they're good at this stage.
It also gives Danny 2 kings as well.
That's the perfect card for Gus, actually, because his opponents have got top pair now.
Gus is thinking about the right increment.
Well, there hasn't been any action so far, but there's 87,000 sitting in the pot. Gus is trying to figure out what he can bet and get paid off with here. He bets 100,000. Now Danny, remember, just made the 2 kings.
I call.
He's going to call the 100,000. And Shandor has also made 2 kings.
He's got a decision here.
Well, he knows he's in with a band of thieves here. They could be betting with nothing.
Do you make the overcall?
Well, that's another 100,000 to him. You know, I don't think you can fault this guy for calling here with a king and a jack in his hand. But he is going to call the 100,000.
That's good news, I think. He's got the straight.
He's going to pick up a nearly $400,000 pot with the 3 threes.
And the crowd goes wild. They love Gus Hansen here at Bay 101.
Gus Hansen finally picking up a little pot to get back in this thing.
Just great poker going on here at Bay 101. Don't go away, folks. We're coming back with more from San Jose, California.
Stay right here with the WPT. Where else can you see a millionaire made at the turn of a card?
Welcome back to the Bay 101 Shooting Stars Tournament.
What's the big blind?
Action's going to be on our chip leader, Danny Wynn.
I race.
Well, he hadn't folded a hand since the last century. Here he comes with a 10-7 of spade, 48,000. Now we're around to Corey, who's on the short stack now. Looks down at queen 8 of spade. This is the problem when you're on a short stack. Do you have enough money to even make these kind of calls? He's doing it, so he's going to gamble here.
Yes, he is. Now it's on Shandor. He's got 10-5. Goes out.
Well, we're around to Gus. Gus gives up the small blind.
Doctor.
Jay looks down at a jack-6 offsuit. He doesn't want to play either.
So it's two-way action. Danny versus Corey. 10-7 versus queen 8.
Well, here comes the flop. The flop is jack 8-6. Now this gives Danny a gut shot straight draw. 9 would make him a straight.
And Corey's got a piece of it, the pair of 8s.
Well, that's good enough for Danny. He's going to bet. He bet 60,000 there. And now Corey put to the test here. He's got second pair. You're on the short stack here. 60,000 to you. He knows Danny could have anything. Danny showed him bluffs all night long.
And Corey actually listening to an iPod without an iPod.
I'm all in.
He's going all in here for 400,000.
He is making a huge plunge.
It's another $340,000 raise here.
I call.
Danny's called this.
Incredibly, Danny is called with a gut shot straight draw. Now, Vince, win, lose, or draw. I think this play is diabolical by the chip player here. I just think you just can't gamble this much for another $350,000 to try to catch a gut shot straight.
Well, tell that to Danny because he's in, he's called it, and he has a chance if he gets lucky to bust this young 22-year-old out.
You win away, man. Don't worry. You win away, don't worry.
Well, it turns out a 10 would give him a lead as well as a 9, but you just can't think a 10 would be good for you in this spot, but it turns out it is. Here comes a turn card. And a 10 comes right off. Wow.
Oh, that was just wrong.
Now that's a real grimace on Corey's face there, folks, and for good reason. He went all in. The guy called him with a gut shot straight draw. He's hit the overpair right now, 2 10s. So right now, Corey needs to catch a queen, a 9, or an 8. Otherwise, it's going to be over for him.
I bet on him if a 9 comes.
If the 9 comes, he's going to make a straight.
Here's the river.
Yes! Oh, an 8.
He got it.
Corey has re-outdrawn him. He has made 3 8s on the river. And the crowd erupts.
Oh, they start to chant Muchaka once again. Corey so excited. Back into action. Doubling up in beautiful fashion right there. The 22-year-old would become the youngest winner on the World Poker Tour.
Corey Charesnik winning a nice pot there. Compliments of Danny Wynn. Vince, I'm still puzzled by that $350,000 call that Danny made there with the gut shot straight. I just can't believe that's winning poker. It's okay to bet at the pot where you're trying to steal it also, but to call it there just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Back to the felt. It's going to be on the doctor, Dr. J. Martins from Canada. He throws away a queen 8.
Action back around to Danny.
He's got to regroup a little bit. But you know he's got an ace 7 of clubs. And that is a monster for this man.
Just limps in with it, Vince. He just calls the 24,000.
He's going to change gears. And now Corey going to put the goggles right on.
And he looks down at an ace jack here.
And now he's going into a little bit of a Stevie Wonder head bob.
I raise.
And he's going to raise it.
Yeah, he is.
See how much he's going to make it.
This guy plays very loose, fast.
We will raise to 150.
Gonna raise to 150.
He's going to make a nice stiff raise with ace jack.
Yep, makes it 150,000 to go. It's a $126,000 raise.
He hums, he whistles, he wins. Shandor going out.
It's a big raise when the big blind's only 24,000.
Now Gus Hansen with ace 5 of diamonds doesn't want any part of it. He goes out as well.
Now we're back around to Danny. Look at this. Danny backhands it. I'm all in, he says.
He's going over the top.
He has ace 7, folks. He's going all in here for over $1 million. Him and Corey both started this pot with about the same amount of chips.
Corey in pain with that re-raise.
If he could only see that his opponent had ace 7, he'd be jumping over the high jump area to get in this pot. As it is, it's painful for him.
It's like he's getting a colonoscopy right now. He gets up from his chair.
Queens, I can't call. It's yours. Don't worry about it. It's yours. I can't.
Well, Corey gets out of the way. What an all-in bet by Danny right there to pick up that pot.
It is just incredible poker. Corey's got to respect that re-raise all in. And just like that, Danny getting a little momentum back. There's no fear tonight at Bay 101. We're coming back. Stay with us on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to California, where the poker action is red hot. I'm Shauna Hyatt, and here's a recap of the action so far.
Here at Bay 101 Shooting Star, it's not just the stars that have been doing the shooting. Chip leader and stone rookie Jay the Statue Martins came out firing, but lost back-to-back hands and turned the chip lead over to 22-year-old accounting major Corey Charesnik. Meanwhile, it was open season on Seasoned Pros as Men the Master got shot down with pocket queens by poker dealer Danny Nguyen, who seemed to have been born under his own shooting star. In California, the shooting is far from over as we're down to 4 hungry amateurs, 1 Great Dane, and a first-place prize of $1 million.
Now back to the 2 hottest announcers on TV, Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten.
It is great poker action here at the Bay 101. And right now, the chip leader is Danny Wynn, taking control with close to $1.2 million. Shandor with about $1 million. And then we go back to Corey with about 900. Dr. J. Martins with about 8. And lo and behold, Gus Hansen short stacked at about 500,000.
Well, Danny Wynn picks up 8-6 offsuit. Calls the 24,000. That plays every pot, Vince.
Corey quickly going out with 9-6.
Around to Shandor. Looks down at Queen Jack here on the button in position. It cost him $24,000 to call, and he does so.
Gus Hansen with ace-4 of spades.
Gus is going to call too. And Jay with a 3-2 says, give us a flop. Four-way action here. Over $110,000 in the pot already, and here comes a flop. And the flop is ace, queen, deuce. So Gus has flopped top pair, Shandor has flopped second pair, and Jay has flopped bottom pair. And Gus checks.
The doctor is going to bite with just the bottom pair.
Yeah, he bets $60,000. Well, Danny quickly folds. Shandor lays the 2 queens down. What a nice lay down by him. Now they all give the doctor respect. He has not been splashing around a lot here. Gus with the 2 aces, the top pair. Gus is going to call the $60,000.
Well, here comes the turn card. It's an 8 of spades.
Well, a great card for Gus in that it gives him a nut flush draw as well as top pair, but he checks, Vince.
Well, a lot of respect to the doctor. And the doctor with just a little pair of deuces and a lot of imagination is going to bet again.
What heart these guys are showing. He bets $90,000 here with bottom pair.
Gus looks back at his aces with 4 spades.
Gus has only got a little over $300,000 left here. If I was him, I would just get them all in right now. My opponent had this hand beat. I just have to hope to hit a flush or something to outdraw him.
Well, it's the table image of this doctor, though. So stoic that Gus is saying, you know what, if I do go all in, this guy probably has me beat right now. Will he call me? He'll probably call me, so I'm going to have to outdraw him.
Well, I don't think there's any chance that Gus is going to throw this away with the nut flush draw on top pair. So it's a matter if you call or if you move all in. Gus is just going to call it. So here we go, off to the river. Gus with 2 aces, the nut flush draw. His opponent with just a pair of deuces.
Well, it's a 10 of hearts on the river. Did not help the doc.
Again, Gus checks. This time, doctor's had enough. So Gus is going to win this pot with the 2 aces. Vince, in my view, Gus played that hand very conservative. Not to re-raise that on the turns, a little surprising to me.
Well, I'll tell you something. Tonight, it's been crazy action. You're seeing Gus getting outgussed by many players at the table.
Tell you one thing, do not count out this 3-time World Poker Tour champion. He's going for his 4th title. He just picked up that pot. All he needs is a little momentum, and they all better duck.
With 5 WPT final tables under his belt, the word final doesn't seem to be in Gus Hansen's vocabulary.
Well, it's obvious now that people have definitely seen me on the World Poker Tour.
Mullen.
All right, I call. People are more familiar with my style.
I don't get it.
So it definitely means I have to change gear here and there.
Why didn't you raise? I would have folded.
People kind of always make fun that I play too many crazy hands.
7-5 guys.
Deuces for Gus Hansen. He's doubled up.
I never learned how to fold, really. I do play a lot of crazy hands. It kind of makes me a little bit unpredictable.
And that unpredictable style makes him feared by most everyone he plays against.
The whole tournament, Gus Hansen is the one guy I truly did not want to see at my table.
I guess there's no more Mr. Nice Guy, huh? I'm fairly comfortable with having the worst hand and go from there.
Oh, an 8 right on the door.
I cannot believe this. Gus has outdrawn him at this point.
Sometimes it also depends on the cards you catch, but it's poker. Anything can happen.
And I cannot believe what I just saw.
Vince, all 5 of these guys have got chips now. As the blinds and antes go up, we're now playing with a $5,000 ante. Blinds are $20,000 and $40,000.
Don't forget the champion's going to make $1 million, plus get that guaranteed $25,000 seat at our championship, and that's potentially worth millions more. Back to the table, Shandor quickly going out. Gus Hansen. He's got a Gus hand 5-4, but no, Gus won't play his own hand. Doctor going out with King 10. That's on the chip leader right now. Danny Wynn with 7-4 of diamonds.
That's pretty interesting. The doctor folded King 10 of diamonds in position. I'm a little puzzled by that fold. But notice that Danny Wynn is getting out some raisin chips here with the 7-4 of diamonds. Makes it 120,000 to go.
The larceny continues here. Into Corey Shereznik. He's got Jack 8 offsuit this time.
And he's got position on him, Vince, but it's not the kind of hand that you really like calling an $80,000 raise with, is it? Well, he's doing it.
He's a gambler.
Well, he's just seen Danny push everybody around so much. He's just going to try to catch a flop against him. Flop comes Jack 7 deuce. Danny goes all in with 2 sevens and a flush draw.
Call.
Corey quickly calls him with top pair. So fireworks here. Over $1.8 million in the pot right now. And certainly you can't fault Danny for going in with this hand. He's flopped a pair and a flush draw. Corey, however, with the top pair, has the best hand right now.
Oh, but I can catch running diamonds too and still beat him.
He must win this pot to stay alive.
Well, their rivalry continues. The 22-year-old on the ropes. Can he get lucky with this? We're coming right back. Stay with us on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the Bay 101 Shooting Star, where it's Danny Nguyen against Corey Shereznik's top pair. Will Corey's pair hold up, or will Danny's lucky star continue to shine?
We've got well over $1.8 million in this pot now. Whoever wins this pot will be our chip leader, and if Corey loses it, he will be out of here in 5th place.
Here's the turn card.
Well, the 6 of spade comes off.
He's still out in front.
So we're off to the river. Danny must catch a 7, a 4, or a diamond. It's a 7 of spade. Oh. Danny has made 3 sevens. He's hit the slot machine to knock Corey Shereznik out of this tournament.
Oh, that is going to do it. It is over for Corey Shereznik.
Just that quick, the gator is gone.
Oh, the dream is over for the 22-year-old.
You know, he flopped the top pair. You can't blame him for going all in then. If you were going to question something he did in that hand, do you want to call a re-raise with Jack 8 offsuit against the chip leader? That's the question. He did so. He flopped top pair, got him in trouble. He ended up getting knocked out.
What an effort. We are down to 4 at the Bay 101. 1 bounty left. That would be Gus Hansen. And these guys are playing fast with great passion.
Action is on, Gus. Looks at a 3 deuce and folds.
Dr. J's got a monster of a hand. He's got a pair of kings wired up. Well, this is what he's been waiting for.
I'll raise.
Raise.
Let's see how much he's going to raise. And he's going to make it 100,000 straight, so he's raised it 60,000.
Into Danny, the chip leader, who has a nice starting hand, King 10 of spades.
All in.
He says, I'm all in.
I call.
The doctor calls, but in the meantime, Chandra hasn't acted on his hand yet.
He has not acted.
Well, Chandra with ace-6 does go out.
I call.
Well, verbal declarations are binding, so the doctor will call. He's happy to do so, and he's going to love it when he sees Danny's hand because he's in dominating position. 2 kings against King 10.
Would this be the misstep by Danny Nguyen?
Lots of red cards. Lots of red cards.
Doctor calling for red cards, and 2 of them are red, including the king.
He's hit 3 of a kind on the flop.
Well, right now, Danny's going to have to catch 9 jack or jack ace to win this pot and knock the doctor out of here.
Oh, the doctor has already amputated 1 arm. Let's see if it'll continue. Here's the turn.
Yep, it's over.
That's a wrap.
It's kings full of queens. The doctor is going to double up and take the chip lead at this final table.
Well, Danny Nguyen, just an instinct player, playing a little too fast that time. Gets run over by a man waiting for a real hand with the pair of kings, and it stands up.
Jay Martin's nickname is the Statue, and he certainly plays some rock-solid poker.
This is the first time I have played poker in a casino. I played with the buddies at home, and they always clean me out. I'm a terrible poker player at home. I've proven that anybody can succeed at poker.
From the outside, it looks like the Statue has poker all figured out. But inside, well, it's a whole different story.
They're not joking when they say poker's hard work. You know, you're sitting there, your heart's pounding, your vision's going blurry, your hands are shaking underneath the table. It is hard work. It's mentally, physically draining. And right now, I don't know if I want to put myself through that again. Maybe in a year, who knows? The statue may be back.
What a story that would be. A guy qualified online for $8. First time he's ever played in a live casino in his life. Could capture a WPT title and $1 million.
Action on the poker dealer, Danny Wynn. He'll play anything, but this time he's got Big Slick.
He has a big hand here. He raises it up to $120,000.
Shandor with the button with an ace-6 of spades. No, he's not going to play.
Round to Gus. Now Gus has Kojak. He's got King Jack here.
Oh, we need to see him.
Cost him $100,000 more to call. He knows Danny could raise with anything. Will Gus take a stab at this pot and come over the top?
Yes, he is.
Well, he does call.
And right behind him, the doctor with Queen 9 of diamonds. No, he goes out.
You're going to let them fight it out.
Two-way battle between Danny and Gus. Here's the first three.
Flop comes Jack, 6-5 of diamonds, and the doctor saying, why did I throw my hand away?
That's right.
He would have flopped a flush. In the meantime, Gus has flopped top pair here.
And Danny has absolutely nothing with his ace-king.
Well, Gus looking back down to see if he's got diamond to go with the 2 jacks. He doesn't. He checks.
And Danny Wynn with just ace-king going all in.
And no diamond. He is going to put Gus to the test right here. Oh. Would Gus know he's in anywhere near this dominating of a position to win this pot? Gus has about $650,000 left. Does he want to put them all in right here?
I call.
He's going to call him, and what a great call it is. He's followed his poker instincts.
He's put it all on the line. He's out in front right now.
And right now, Danny must catch an ace to take the lead, or a running 10 and a queen to make an ace-high straight. That's the only way he's going to win this pot. Gus Hansen knows he's in great shape right here, not only to double up, Vince, but to take the chip lead in this tournament.
Well, he's been very patient to get to this place. Here comes the turn.
A 10 comes off on the turn. Well, now he can lose with a queen or an ace. So it gives his opponent more outs to win this pot. But it's a jack. Gus Hansen makes 3 jacks.
He is back.
Now, Vince, he's been biding his time here today. The others have been more aggressive than him. In the meantime, he is our chip leader.
Gus Hansen playing his opponent so well. He's seen this man rob him all night long, push everyone around, get lucky.
Well, what a great check on the flop by Gus Hansen there. Knowing his opponent has been very aggressive and betting all night long. Certainly that's what happened.
This time, Gus Hansen's going to rake in the pot. He is coming back. And we're coming back in a few moments. Stay with us. We're at Bay 101 here on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're in Northern California for the Bay 101 Shooting Star Tournament.
That's right, Mike, and the shooting is far from over in this event. We're down to 4th, and look who's out on top. The Great Dane, Gus Hansen, with close to $1.9 million.
Yep, and what an exciting event we've witnessed so far. Just tremendous action tonight. Mostly created by Danny Wynn, trying to reach out and grab the brass ring. But right now on the short stack with just $250,000.
Doctor quickly goes out. Now it is on Danny.
He's picked up 2 kings and limps in on the button.
He's got a whopper. He's going to slow play it. Shandor.
Well, he calls out of the small blind.
All right. I was lying again.
And now what's funny about this is Shandor's just praying Gus checks. Danny, on the other hand, praying he raises.
Will he bite?
Yep, he's going to raise it, Vince. Makes it $160,000 to go.
Danny Wynn double checking his pair of kings. Here it goes. He's short stacked, but he's gone all in. Shandor quickly going out.
Had the best hand.
Yep, he goes all in for $245,000 here.
Easy lay down when he calls.
Back around to Gus.
I got 120 right here.
Nearly $500,000 in the pot. I just can't imagine he would throw a king five of spade away here. But Gus, one of the premier backgammon players in the world, certainly knows how to calculate odds.
Thinking the king high was good.
And he is going to make the call. Unfortunately for Gus, he's up against the worst hand he could be up against. Two kings. Gus with the king five of spades. So right now, Danny with about an 85% chance to double up right here.
Here comes the first three. It's a 10-6-4 out there. Not going to help Gus much.
Well, Gus has to hit two running cards to make a straight or two running fives to make three fives. That's the only way that he can win this pot and take Danny out of this tournament.
Danny's got an opportunity to double up, get some confidence back. Here comes our turn card.
Well, it's a 4. So Danny Wynn is going to double up here. And Vince, don't count this guy out yet.
Should have seen that. I should have seen that. That was bad. I should have seen that. I should have seen that.
He's just fought so hard here tonight.
I should have seen
Nice, put himself in chip lead with 4 players left and then gives away $250,000 right there.
So the big kings, the lucky kings this evening, holding up nicely for Danny Wynn. He has been on a roller coaster ride tonight.
He has played every hand this evening, I think.
And it's on him again. This time he's got ace-7 of diamonds.
And he goes all in.
Sure, he's short-stacked. He's going to push it on Shandor, but look at the Shandor. He's got a big hand, too. He's got big slick, ace-king.
Just hard to imagine he could throw this away against this player.
I call.
He calls it.
Yep, he's going to do it.
Gus quickly going out.
Well, as does the doctor. So right now, Shandor in great shape here to eliminate Danny Wynn from this tournament. He's got ace-king. Danny Wynn with the ace-7 of diamonds.
Oh, and the gambling Danny Wynn stumbling here again, it looks like. He was the chip leader just a few hands back. It is an avalanche at this time. He is very close to being eliminated and being our 4th place finisher at Bay 101.
And he's got about a 30% chance to win this pot is all. He's going to have to get lucky to outdraw his opponent. Can he do it? Nope, doesn't look like it. It's come king 5-5.
That is great for Shandor. Hits the pair of kings on the flop, so he has kings and 5s.
Well, the only way Danny could win this pot is if it comes 7-7. If it comes 5-5, they would get a tie out of this pot.
He does get the 1-7. It's all coming down to this card. He needs a miracle.
Well, he must catch another 7. Could he possibly catch 2 running 7s to win this pot? He does! Vince, he does it! Vince, it has come 7-7. Unbelievable! Shandor is in shock.
I can't believe it.
Well, the crowd is in disbelief here. Wow! Running 7s to win that pot. That's all he could win with. What an unbelievable draw out by Danny Wynn right there.
Thank you.
Well, look at Danny Wynn, though. Mr. Destiny, big smile. And right now, Shandor looks like he's falling down and he just can't get up. His dad in the audience looks sicker than him.
That's sick, huh?
I know you take a beat like that once in a lifetime, and to do it at a final table of a World Poker Tour event where you're playing for $1 million is absolutely below the devastating mark.
What a turn of events, but right now, Danny Wynn getting a whole bunch of chips right there. We're coming back soon on the World Poker Tour. Stay with us. Welcome back to Bay 101 Shooting Star Tournament, where 2 players have already been shot down.
Well, the crowd in the house, Shandor himself, and millions watching this program are all in shock about that outdraw that Danny Wynn just made, catching runner 7-7 to win that pot.
What a horrible beat. But back to the action. Gus Hansen going out. Jay Martin throwing away king 10. Back into Danny Wynn.
How much you have?
Danny Wynn with 6-5 of diamonds going all in. And Shandor, of course, has to call because he's short stacked. Shandor's got the 9-8.
Danny with the 6-5. He does have it suited. Danny Wynn about a 3-2 underdog to win this pot, but that should be a walk in the park for him after the last hand.
One more time, Danny.
Shandor with a smile, a good sport. Here comes the first 3.
Well, the 6 peels right off the first card off. It's come ace, jack, 6.
That means Danny's out in front with a pair of 6s, Mike.
Yep, Chandler must catch a 9 or an 8 or 2 running cards to make a straight if he wants to live on in this tournament. And a 5 comes off.
Gives 2 pair to Danny.
But notice that a 7 would make Chandler straight and would win the pot for him.
So now we need another 7 again.
Now, if there's any justice, Vince, he should be able to catch a 7 at the river to stay alive, just as Danny did the last pot.
That would be not nearly as incredible, but possible. We've seen it all tonight.
I get you 7 right.
River card coming up. Can Chandler get lucky this time? No, he's not going to do it.
It's a deuce. Well, heartbreak right there, Vince, but you can just take your hat off and douse it to this guy. What a performance he put on. He got in here by winning the satellite. He's taken home $280,000. He's also taken home a bad beat he'll remember for a lifetime.
Well, up until 3 minutes ago, this guy would be a major favorite to win this event. Just a great effort by him. We're down to 3 players, Mike.
And you almost have to think that destiny is on the side of Danny Wynn here with the outdraws he's made tonight. His problem is the winningest player on the World Poker Tour in Gus Hansen is in his way as chip leader with 3 players left. Our action's going to be on Dr. J. Martins. He folds.
Back into Danny Wynn with a 9-6 of hearts.
Right, $120.
He's going to raise it up.
Now, he doesn't care who Gus or anybody else is. He's raising and playing every single pot.
Raises at 80,000. Gus Hansen with queen 3. He's going to look him up.
It's not very often you see guys playing more hands at a final table than Gus Hansen, but certainly Danny Wynn has done that 3 or 4 to 1.
Here's the flop.
Now flop comes king, queen, 7. Gus has flopped 2 queens. Danny's flopped nothing and checks. Gus checks the 2 queens. Going to take the conservative route here. The 8 of diamonds comes on the turn. Now this gives Danny an up and down straight draw.
That is correct. 4 to the straight.
He's going to bet out, making what we call a semi-bluff here. And then at least he has a hand this time, in case he's called, where he could hit some cards to win the pot.
Now Gus, who hit a pair of queens on the flop, but checked it. Gus Hansen, 3-time World Poker Tour champion, going after an unprecedented 4-time title.
He's the chip leader. Well, here he goes. Gus calls the 160,000. Nice call by Gus here. Danny with the open-end straight draw. Gus with the 2 queens. Here comes the river card. Well, it's a 6.
All in.
Danny goes all in, just like he made it straight. And he has put the test to Gus Hansen here, folks.
Oh, this is a very bold bet, all in.
Well, it's $1.2 million, Vince. Notice the 6 makes a possible straight out there. He could have been trapping all the time. Gus only has 2nd pair. No kicker with that.
It's almost an impossible call at this point.
Well, virtually all Gus can beat is a bluff here.
Yeah.
If Gus would make this call, however, not only would he knock the man out, he would be a monstrous chip leader going into heads-up play. Could he possibly make this call, Vince? I believe it'd be one of the greatest calls in the history of the World Poker Tour if he called it right here, right now. He does make the laydown.
Oh, he has to.
The great Gus Hansen getting outplayed right there by Danny Wynn. Certainly. I don't think anybody could make that call with 2 queens in that spot, Vince, but just stand up and give Danny Wynn credit for being bold enough and brave enough to move all in right there.
Action's going to be back on Gus Hansen.
Gus on the button, looks down at king 9. A hand favored against 2 random hands, meaning the blinds. See what Gus does with it. He just got bluffed out of that last pot. He doesn't know he was bluffed, but he's going to raise it. Makes it 110,000 to go.
Into Dr. J. Martins.
I'll raise.
With ace queen in his hand. Yes, he is going to raise.
Well, you can't blame him for that. Ace Queen, a big hand in a three-handed poker game.
Guy got into this event through $8 satellite.
What a story this would be. And just as astonishing as that, Vince, this is the first time he's ever played poker in a casino setting in his life. And he raised it $200,000. Danny gets out of the way.
Danny had 7-3. Now it's back on Gus.
Gus is in position, but he knows this guy hasn't made very many moves tonight.
Now Gus has given him a lot of respect, a lot of credit for big hands.
Does Gus want to gamble here? Look at a flop for another couple $100,000.
He's been taking it from both sides, Gus.
Well, Gus is going to make the call. $675,000 in the pot right now. It's ace queen for the doctor. King 9 for Gus. Here comes a flop. Oh, what a flop for Gus. It's come 9-6-4. Gus Hansen has flopped top pair. What is Jay going to do now? He checks it.
Now is Gus going to play this slow? He's hit the top pair. Has a nice kicker, being the king.
Well, you cannot play it slow here, Vince. You almost have to assume your opponent has two overcards when he checks on the flop. Gus trying to figure out, is the guy trying to trap me here?
Well, he's thinking back, what did the guy raise me before the flop? A couple $100,000.
Well, there it is. Gus just taking his time. He is going to set him all in here. Well, he's bet $800,000.
I'll call.
Jay is calling it with the ace-queen, Vince.
Just an incredible call.
Now, he said he's calling it. He's going to have a couple chips left, 20 or 30,000. So they won't turn their cards up at this point.
Got to be shocked when he sees this.
Well, right now, Gus Hansen in great shape here to take total command of this tournament. Looks like it's going to be 30,000 left.
The doctor making the wrong move at this point. He still could get lucky, of course.
And he's going to have to catch an ace or a queen to do it. He's hit the ace on the turn.
He got lucky on 4th Street.
Well, don't you just suspect that Gus knows that card beat him? Look at the way he flipped in that 30,000. Well, Gus is now going to have to catch a king or a 9 to knock him out of this tournament. Jay looking up at the stars.
What a tremendous outdraw so far, but it's not over yet. All on the line for the doctor.
Well, a deuce comes up. So Jay Martins, the doctor, the physician from Canada, winning a monster pot right there, $2.335 million. And look at Gus Hansen. No, he couldn't have played it any better, Vince. If you're going to call the raise before the flop, you hit the 9, he moved all in just as he was supposed to.
Well, do you think the hesitation, I know he was milking it, but do you think if he'd have gone in immediately that the doctor would have made the call with the ace-queen? Perhaps not. Well, you look at Gus Hansen. I think he just aged about 7 years.
That was the card I didn't like.
Well, it's going to make for good TV anyway.
I wasn't worrying about the TV when I bet 800.
Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the Bay 101, the house of bad beats. At least here for tonight anyway. Gus Hansen now on the short stack in this three-handed match. And the guy who won an $8 satellite online and has never played in a casino in his life, our chip leader, well on his way to $1 million first prize.
They call him the statue. This time he has 10-9.
He gets out of the way.
Into Danny Wynn with a Dolly Parton hand, 9-5.
Then it comes in for $120,000. Now Gus Hansen with only about $450,000 in chips left.
Well, he's got 10-7.
Well, Gus is going to call it here, Vince. You just have to wonder if he's steaming a little bit from that last hand.
Well, he is the junk king. He's going to mess around.
Here comes the flop. Well, it's 8-6-6. I notice that both players have a gut shot straight draw.
Danny's going to go all in with it. He's going to put Gus Hansen to the wall.
The amazing part about it is Gus has the best hand with 10 high. Now, if you're sitting in Gus's seat, you could never know that. It's hard to imagine. He can call his last $350,000 on a gut shot straight draw.
I think I have to call it.
And he's doing it, Vince.
He's making the right call here.
What that tells me is he believes he can win this pot with a 7, a 9, or a 10.
9-5.
5-9 over here.
I got the 10 high.
So Gus Hansen, very happy about the developments here and shocked as well.
Danny's saying, how do you call that? Even Gus Hansen shouldn't call that.
That's not bad.
10-7.
Gus about a 70% favorite to win this hand now. Really, all he's got to dodge here is a 7 or a 5.
Get it.
Gus Hansen will be right back in the thick of things if he can win this pot.
Here's the turn card.
Well, an ace comes off.
And that is good for Gus.
Well, if an 8 comes off, they'll split the pot. For Danny to win, he must catch a 7 or a 5.
Good call.
If that should happen, Gus Hansen would be a third-place finisher. He's got to sweat this. Here's the river.
Well, it's a king, so there you go. Gus Hansen is doubled up. He is right back in the hunt here, Vince.
Just a great call by Gus. Gets involved, makes the right decision.
So Gus fighting and clawing to stay alive here. Made a call where he thought he was going to have to catch a card to win. In fact, he had to dodge a bullet to win, and he did so.
$1 million at stake, and it's going to be right back on Gus. Looks down at King 10 offsuit. Solid starting hand, especially three-handed.
Well, he is going to raise it. Makes it 120,000 to go.
Into the doctor.
The doctor with ace high quickly folds.
All in.
Danny Wynn going all in with Wayne Gretzky, 99.
Well, you can't blame him for going all in there with the 2 9s.
Okay.
Gus is going all in here. He has called him.
No hesitation.
Well, I'm astounded that Gus called that so quickly. That was about 800,000. Just seen Danny raise on anything tonight. Perhaps he thought the king high was the best hand. Maybe he thought he was in a race situation. That's exactly what we've got.
Well, Gus figured he won with 10 high last time. He was thinking, hey, King 10 is a lot stronger.
I usually don't lose these.
Well, right now, Danny Wynn a slight favorite to win this pot with the 2 9s. He's up against the King 10 for Gus. Gus must get lucky and win this pot to stay alive in this tournament.
He is hanging in by a dental floss. Gus Hansen going for his 4th World Poker Tour title. Here come the first 3.
The flop comes Queen 8-4, so far Danny's 2 9s are good. Gus must catch a king or a 10, or 2 running cards to make a straight, or 2 running clubs to make a flush.
Chance of a lifetime for the poker dealer.
So we've seen outdraw after outdraw here. Can Gus Hansen get lucky and catch a card to win this pot? Here comes the turn card. It's a 9. Well, Danny Wynn has made 3 9s, but it's not over for Gus yet. He can catch a jack in the guts to make a straight and stay alive in this tournament.
Danny's just shaking his head. Even though he hit, he doesn't want to get too excited. He knows what this evening's been so far. It has been the house of pain. Outdraws left and right. Can he knock out the great poker savant, Gus Hansen?
Gus must catch a jack to stay alive in this tournament. It's a 10. Gus makes the 10s, but the 3 9s are going to win this pot.
It is always great to see the great Dane Gus Hansen play.
I do want to sign on my shirt,
Danny says, I'd love to get your autograph, Gus. I mean, what gets better than that? You beat a guy and you ask for his autograph.
Well, he gets the 5,000 too. He got both bounties here at this final table.
So it is not to be for the great Gus Hansen. He's the 3rd place finisher. He's going to make $320,000. Once again, giving us a show unlike any other.
2 Cinderellas left in the ball. Who's going to take this title? Well, as is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads-up play, we have a unique money presentation. A real shooting star coming down from the sky.
Director Matt Savage and Shauna Hyatt coming out.
It's a lot of money they're carrying over to the table. Over $1.5 million in that shooting star. We've got 2 Cinderellas still left, both playing in their first $10,000 tournament ever. One of them is going to walk away a WPT champion and a millionaire.
All right, Gus, that was a crazy tournament. What was it like for you?
This was probably one of the wildest final tables I've ever seen. I mean, people were jamming, they were raising, they were re-raising, they were shooting all the chips in the pot. So, I mean, it was kind of a crazy table where you kind of a little awkward for me because I like to play a lot of hands and see a lot of flops. So, I mean, here you kind of had to wait for a hand.
Right.
So I actually felt I did okay overall, but I mean, you know, sometimes it's a turn of a card.
Well, they're about to play for the $1 million first prize. The match race about to begin. The duel from the felt. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We are heads up with the $1 million first prize on the line.
Right now, the antes are going up to 10,000. The blinds are going to be 30 and 60. And here we go with the first hand.
Both these players starting out with over $2 million in chips. So certainly either one of them can win.
I'll raise.
And the doctor raising it on hand one with the king 10 offsuit.
He's going to change gears. He's going up.
Let's see how much the doctor's going to raise it here. He's going to make it 120,000 more. So he's raised it up to 180,000.
Into Danny Wynn. Now Danny's got ace-5.
Let's see what he's going to do with it. Cost him another 120,000 to call. Will he re-raise it with the ace-high?
Now starting out in this battle, the doctor has a little bit more, about 2.4 million. Oh, he's just going to call it.
So we're going to have a flop here. It's ace-5 for Danny, king 10 for the doctor. When the flop comes ace-10-8.
And that is great for Danny Wynn. He's hit the pair of aces.
Danny leads out and bets 160,000. Vince, I got to tell you, the doctor has second pair with top kicker. It's going to be hard for him to put Danny on an ace because Danny didn't raise before the flop.
Potential disaster for the doctor on the very first hand.
And Jay is calling him. So he's heading for quicksand here.
We are playing no limit. You could bet anything you want at any time. This thing could be over in one hand.
The 3 of hearts comes off. And that gives Danny 2 aces with a flush draw. And he goes all in with it. But notice that the doctor has 2 10s with an ace-high flush draw with the king of hearts, the nut flush draw. And it'd be very hard for him to get away from this hand, I think.
I'll call.
He's going to call it.
Doctor has made the call.
So here we go, a $4 million pot on hand number 1. If Danny Wynn wins this pot, he'll double up. If the doctor gets lucky and catches a king, a 10, or a heart, he will be our champion.
No heart, I win.
The miracle at work for the doctor. He can do it right here. All he needs is a heart.
Can Danny Wynn's hand hold up? Or will we see another outdraw? Here comes the river card. And it's a 4 clubs.
Not going to happen for the doctor.
So Danny Wynn has doubled up on hand number 1 of this heads-up match, leaving the doctor with just over 300,000 in chips.
And in the very first hand of heads-up battle, the doctor now on the respirator. What a turn of events.
Yeah, I play a game ball.
And the kamikaze man, Danny Wynn, taking control here. And he's very close to becoming a millionaire.
Well, if he wins this $1 million, will he get out of the dealer's box and go to the other side of the table for a while, Vince?
Well, it'd be hard to go back to dealing after this event, that's for sure.
Danny Wynn, he has outdrawn people. He's been more aggressive than anybody at this table. He's on the verge of capturing a World Poker Tour title and $1 million.
Well, the San Jose local has 4-3 this time, and he's going to make a call.
Here he limps in on the button, And Jay says, you're not limp in cheap, my friend. I'm going all in right here with the king high.
I call. Danny's quickly called it.
Wow, I'm amazed that Danny would call in this spot, Vince.
What a great place for the doctor to double up here.
Well, he's putting in over $300,000 to make this call. Why would you want to double up the doctor here when you just have 4 high? And right now, Jay Martin's in a dominating position. He's got king 4. He's up against 4-3.
They both have 4s in their hand. Here's the flop.
Well, flop is 10-9 deuce. Now, Danny does have a heart draw.
He's got 4 hearts.
So he can win this pot with a heart or a 3 right now. He has flopped a flush draw. About as good a flop as he could expect. And the doctor remaining stoic. He knows his king high is good right now. Can he hold off Danny Wynn? $1 million on the line. Nobody else has been able to hold him off. Can the doctor? Well, the 7 of clubs comes off.
So that is a good card for the doctor.
We are down to the river. Danny Wynn must catch a heart or a 3 to win this championship right now.
And if he did, he would be the next World Poker Tour champion.
It's a 3. Danny Wynn has made 2 3s.
He did it.
He is our champion. Look at him. He's the local favorite here.
He's just become a millionaire. Oh, this is exciting.
Well, the doctor raising his cap to the crowd to give him a nice ovation as well.
The kamikaze man playing reckless makes it happen here at the Bay 101.
That's sick, huh?
Shooting Star Tournament could very well be the most exciting final table we've ever seen on the World Poker Tour. It's now time to toast our champion with Michelob Amber Bock, the official beer of the World Poker Tour. Well, here's to the Bay 101 Shooting Star champion, Danny Wynn from San Jose, California. For Vince Van Patten, Shauna Hyatt, and everyone at the World Poker Tour, I'm Mike Sexton saying thanks for watching. And until next time, may all your cards be live and your pots be monsters.